It's 13 over, it's not 12 and under. I didn't know if you had any experience with that kind of children's testing. Am I going to be okay?
This one's really tough. Selling on Amazon is not passive income, which is why you're here listening to me. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guide. In clips like you'll see today, we talk to Amazon sellers and ask them about the pains they experience. We offer solutions. We talk about PPC, SEO, design, and catalog troubleshooting. Enjoy. Brian, how you doing, man?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Hear you perfect.
Awesome.
We'll have you pull out the guitar to bring us home today. So how can I help?
So I got an email from Amazon today saying that I had a compliance issue and that I was at risk for removal for my product, and clicked on it, and it said that it basically has to do with a children's toy needs testing if it's for children 12 or younger. Yep. My listing very specifically that it's a game, says 13 plus. I picked that because of the 12 and under.
Smart call.
I have it listed on Amazon under the manufacturer recommended age as 13 years and older. And so I did file an appeal, and there was two choices with the appeal. The first one was my product is made for ages 15 and older. And then the second one was this does not apply to my product. So I selected that this does not apply to my product. And I said, it's 13 over, it's not 12 and under. I didn't know if you had any experience with that kind of children's testing. Am I going to be okay?
This one's really tough. So I have seen this issue a lot in the toys category, especially. And getting them to unneed or not require the child testing documents after they've requested it, I don't think I've ever successfully seen somebody get rid of that request. So when they said it was at risk, they didn't physically yank it yet. Is that correct?
Yeah, the email that I got basically just said, you need to take care of this. It's at risk for removal.
Okay, that's good. So as long as you're not yanked, I think you've got time. And your goal is to just keep the communication flowing. As long as you're engaged and you continually respond, your risk of removal goes down substantially. Not guaranteed, but substantial risk reduction. The more sales that you generate, the more likely a human review will occur as well. So give me a rough BSR for the item right now.
So my product's fairly new. It's been on there since like September, and I've went from selling like 3 to 5 a day, and now I'm selling about 40 a day. So I've progressed up my sales. So the product is doing well, but it is still in its first few months of
okay. All right. So 40 units a day, probably just underneath the scrutiny category, in my opinion. But once you get up to that 200 a day, it'll definitely cause some additional flags or reviews. So I think you're doing all the right things. Let me confirm. I think all the steps you've taken are completely appropriate. In terms of getting around this, probably what I would do as a next step. How long has the ticketing been going on? Has it been a couple weeks or more?
I just got the email today, and I filed the appeal today.
Okay.
So I've never been through any sort of appeal process or anything. So I didn't know if you have any advice on the appeal process.
You did it perfectly. 100% perfectly based on what I heard you say. So what I would do from here is if you don't hear anything after 72 hours, send a follow-up. Try and get this to about day 10 and at least 3 touch points. And if it's not resolved at that point, send an email to jeff@amazon.com. Cite the case, cite the ASIN, be as concise as possible. Say, hey, I'm worried about my product being removed. It's compliant. It's for 13 plus. They're requesting the CPC. They're requesting the child protection documents. They don't apply. Can you please help me escalate resolution here? And Amazon has unfortunately become such a culture of escalation that the steps that I just talked about are probably going to be completely necessary. And so just expect that it's normal, and make sure when you send that email to Jeff that you're writing it from the main Seller Central admin email that you open the account with. If you do that, I think within 10 days of you sending that email to Jeff, this issue will probably go away, assuming they agree with you and you're not selling a toddler toy and calling it 13 plus just to get around the rules. As long as they agree with you with an executive review of the listing, you should be okay. It's
actually the opposite. My game is more for like millennial demographic, things like that. So it's not even meant for.
So you're in the right then. You're in the right on the topic. So you just have to convince Amazon to release the claim, and they're going to be very slow to do that.
Okay, understood. Well, thanks for the help. It's just when you see that, you definitely kind of go, "Oh no, I don't want my product."
Yes, yeah. Well, especially like a week before Christmas. Merry Christmas, sir.
Exactly. So, well, thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Brian. Thanks for coming on the show today. Slam that like and subscribe button and join me every Thursday, noon Eastern Standard Time, where you can watch Amazon sellers come on camera and ask me literally any question live. We'll see you then.